at my wedding to Sarah, and yeah, I guess I'm on. Everybody can hear me, I hope.
Yep, you
Um,
look fabulous, by the way.
I don't know about fabulous. I've got the Andrew Weil pandemic beard here, so you know, we're all trying to make the best of it, and I think that my reconnection with Niken has been the best thing that's come out of the pandemic for me. Um, those of you who may know my story, I started out with Niken several decades ago, and I was in and out, but in fact, I was always in. Niken, the Niken experience for me was never ending. Even though I may not have been officially associated with Niken and I went off on my own business there for a while, um, I really felt that I was always connected not only to uh, the Niken distributors like Maggie and hundreds of others, but also connected to the products. I mean, I can tell you that right now my face is being illuminated by a Kinko light, full spectrum Kinko light, which hopefully is doing the job. Doesn't make me look too much like a toad. And but I use the mattress pad, I use the insoles, I use the water, I use the nutritionals, I use the CM cream, I use the duct tape, I use the wraps, and I wanted to give you a little bit of an aside here on the wraps. I have three children. I have two boys and a girl. My youngest is my daughter, and she's very special to me. She graduated first in her class from undergraduate school at University of Vermont Honors College with a degree in mathematics. She was the first student to go to Cambridge University in England from UVM, where she graduated with a degree in computational biology. And I got to be honest with you, I had to look it up. I wasn't even sure what it was. But she graduated there. Then she came back and she got her PhD in mathematics at Berkeley. And obviously, I'm very proud of her. But I have to admit, I claim her as mine, but I have not yet done the DNA, so I'm not really positive. But she's the light of my life, and I love her very much. And I was very pleased at the end of last year when Luis Kasuga asked me to be a presenter at the convention. And to be honest with you, I jumped at the opportunity because I was yearning for a reconnection to Niken, and I was very enthusiastic about my ability to the opportunity to reconnect with Niken. So I did that presentation and enjoyed it very much. And then I was asked to do a Masterday presentation for UK EU, which I did a couple of months back, and got back into the swing of things. So, you know, here I am today for the for Ruben and Luis's Masterday in the U.S. And again, I'm very happy and I'm very proud to be part of it. And I would wanted to take a cue from John, who presented, as we all know, did a fantastic job earlier today presenting, and that is to tell a story. And I'd like to tell the story of how I actually started with Niken way back in 1991. I was I was actually attending a convention in Chicago that involved housewares and appliances and things like that. And I met a gentleman there who had this wonderfully elegant and beautiful device, which was the size of a pen, called the Electrocare. And for those of you who've been around a long time, you'll remember it. It was this beautifully flat black um, device that had small concentric electrodes. It was a transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulator. Never mind, it's okay. It applies microcurrents, microvoltages to your skin in order to ameliorate pain. And I met this gentleman, and he was frustrated because he wanted to supply this to Mr. Watanabe and to Niken, but he needed to get FDA clearance first. So uh, eventually, what happened? I told him, look, I know you've tried several times to get FDA clearance for this, and I said, but why don't you let me try? And he did. And to make a long story short, um, I did get him the clearance. He ended up just distributing the product through Nikan. It was very successful, and as a result of that, I was invited to my first Nikan convention way back in the day at Disneyland, at the Disneyland Convention Center, and I went and attended, and I was kind of this skeptical, maybe jaded businessman, listening to Mr. Masuda, the founder of Nikan, speaking to us through an interpreter. And I remember distinctly Mr. Masuda saying that he was going to succeed with Nikan by caring about the customer, caring about the community, and caring about the world around us. And as I said, as a sort of jaded um, uh, business shark, I don't even know if I want to give myself that much credit, but um, I thought these guys are going to get eaten up. There's no way this company is going to succeed. Those kinds of goals and objectives are not realistic, and they're not from the business world. And after the convention was over, a group of us lined up to walk on stage and meet Mr. Masuda. And I was one of the fortunate ones who um, got to give him a hug. And I know we all long for that with the pandemic. It's nice to give people hugs, and we'll be doing that soon, I'm sure. But I was able to give Mr. Masuda a hug. And at first I thought, this is nonsense. This guy's Japanese. Japanese don't touch, they don't hug, they don't even shake hands. The only time they touch each other is when they're getting jammed onto the subway. But when I actually gave Mr. Masuda a hug, he imparted something to me. He transferred something to me. He told me immediately that he was not only genuine and sincere, but that he was going to succeed. And that always stuck with me. And that's always been my foundational connection to Nikan, and it continues today. And I have to say that when I was contacted by Luis Kasuga end of last year to be involved in the convention and to be a presenter, I was elated because I understood that Luis was going to be moving to the U.S., that he was going to be actually taking charge of Nikan. And I had had a friendship with Luis that goes way back when he was in charge of Mexico and South America. And I found him to be not only somebody that you could relate to and trust, but he's one of the best managers I've ever seen. His style is to find the right people, promote from within, empower them, and let them do their job. If they succeed, he gives them 100% of the credit. And if they fail, he comes, takes it on, and says, how can we do better? So those are the ingredients of somebody who I want to be connected with, and that I'm happy to say is my friend. All right, let me start. If we can put the slides up, or the first slide up, and I have to say, guys, okay, I think I'm going to be okay. Nikan has arranged for me to turn my cell phone into a cricket, to turn my cell phone into a clicker so that I can advance this. I can advance the slides by pressing the green button. And there we go. There's my first press. Hey, it works. All right. So here's what I'm going to talk about today. Sleep, sleep, sleep. And my goal is not to put you to sleep. My goal is to tell you about sleep and about this new fantastic product that we have that Nikan has worked very diligently on. So here's the content essentially of what I'm going to present. Number one, how did you sleep last night? The stages of sleep. Why do we sleep? And that sounds like a bizarre question to ask. But in point of fact, we really don't know why we sleep. There are theories about it, which I'm going to discuss, but we don't really know. And this is from Harvard Medical School, so I think it has some basis of authority to it. Number three, how much sleep do we need? And I love this BBC slide, BBC Science slide that I got years ago, and I love it because I think there's some fun to it. I also think that it's interesting to look at. What happens when we sleep? What's going on in our bodies? What's going on with our conscious and subconscious? And then, last but not least, sleep problems that we have and that continue. And I actually made this slide from a study that was pre-pandemic. So I didn't add the pandemic to it because the pandemic seems to be in everything we do. Let's go on. All right, here we go. This to me is essential. This is a quote from Dr. William Dement. Dr. Dement has since passed, but he used to be, for several decades, he was the Sleep Research Center guru at Stanford University. And Dr. Dement said, quote, healthy sleep has been empirically proven to be the single most important determinant in predicting longevity, more important than diet, exercise, or heredity. And if you look at the import of what Dr. Dement is saying here, what he's saying is, yeah, it's great to have a good diet. We need to do that. It's great to exercise. We need to do that. It's nice to have good genes. It's nice to have the hereditary components that are going to help you live a long life. You know, I was talking with my 91-year-old mom. I talk with her every afternoon. She's in a assisted living facility here in Ranchos, Santa Margarita. And I was talking with her the other day, and she said, Dave, how do you tell the sex of a chromosome? And I thought, okay, mom, do I go into a long-winded explanation of X and Y? And before I could answer, she said, you can tell the sex of a chromosome by pulling down its genes. And I thought, okay, mom, that's 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 enough. So essentially, diet, exercise, heredity, they matter, and they matter big time. But nothing matters more than sleep, than getting good, productive sleep. All right, let's see if I can. Here we go. Are we advancing? Yes. How did you sleep last night? Um, and this brings up the stages of sleep, REM and non-REM. REM is rapid eye movement. And I did find out that REM, or the one particular important stage of sleep called REM, or rapid eye movement, was described and talked about 65 years ago by a Dr. Eugene Aserinsky. Nobody cares, but I do, at the University of Chicago. And he started out with a doctoral thesis where he said, sleep is essentially passive and nothing's really going on. You're just kind of unconscious for 8 hours. And when he finished his study on babies and then adults, he realized that sleep is not only not passive, there's a lot of things going on in there. And he's the one who first described this rapid eye movement and non-rapid eye movement that creates a healthy sleep pattern. The non-rapid eye movement is three quarters. It composes most of the night. And we begin with non-REM when we actually start to fall asleep. Um, Here we go. So this is stages of sleep. Stage one, light sleep, between being awake and entering sleep. And we all know what that's like. You're kind of in the netherworld there. And if you get a sharp noise, or if the dog barks or something disrupts you, you can come right out of it right away. Stage two is the onset of sleep. This is where we actually disengage from the environment. We disengage from the environment around us in the bedroom. Breathing, heart rate, temperature decrease. Stage three and four, this is the deepest and most restorative sleep. And underscore the word restorative. This is the deepest and most restorative sleep. Blood pressure drops. Breathing slows. Energy is regained. We get rejuvenated. Regulatory biochemicals are released for growth and development. Why do we sleep? Sounds like a bizarre question, because we all know we have to sleep, and we all know that we need sleep in order to have a productive day and in order to go about what we need to do. But the bottom line is we don't really know. We have some theories, and I'm able to put them up here. This is again from the Harvard Medical School study, well, not study. This is their postulates on why we sleep. Well, there's the inactivity theory. This goes back to when we were living in caves and we were just trying to get by. We didn't. This is pre-civilization, and the inactivity theory is if you're still, if you're quiet, you're less vulnerable. You're less obviously a prey for some animal or some predator that might be after you. Then there's the energy conservation theory, which is if you sleep and if you're quiet, then you reduce energy demand. And back in those days, energy was not easy to come by. Food was not easy to come by. So if you could conserve your energy, if you could reduce the amount of food that you needed in order to get through the day, it was a good thing. Then there's restorative theories. Sleep provides a chance for the body to restore, to repair, and to rejuvenate. Absolutely true. We know that's a fact. And brain plasticity theory is the last one, which is um, we change, uh, our brain changes in structure and organization of memory and learning ability. And this is what's interesting. You know the old adage, gee, I'm not really sure of the answer. Let me sleep on it. Well, that actually happens when you sleep. You've got a lot of extraneous data input, stimulus input from your day. You are capable of, and I know that there was someone was talking about hypnotism here earlier, and being in the state of hypnosis. Um, I believe that everything we observe during our waking hours is in there, and we can remember it. And even under hypnosis, sometimes the criminals or criminologists or forensics will be able to pull out license plate numbers and things like that. But the bottom line is most of it you don't need. Most of it's extraneous and it just jams us up and really isn't worth remembering. So when we're sleeping, this brain plasticity theory is we actually decide while we're sleeping what's important. What do we need to remember? What is okay to let go, and let those facts fall to the back of our consciousness so they're not creating a traffic jam, an overload of data. Next one, how much sleep do we need? I love this slide because um, it actually is kind of fun to read, and it tells us a little bit about who we are and and how we relate to the people to things around us. How much sleep do you need? This is from BBC Science. People like to sleep between 5 and 11 hours per night. The average the average term that people sleep is 7.75 hours. Um, and here's a species average total sleep per day chart, which I love. A python. Python doesn't like to move very much. Python likes to stay hidden. Python doesn't really want to be obvious. Sleeps 18 hours a day. Tiger. Now it's a big cat. And we know cats sleep, but big cats sleep even more. A tiger sleeps 15.8 hours a day. Then we have a house cat, regular cat, sleeping about 12.1 hours a day, which I can attest to. Now we get to chimpanzee, which is a little bit closer to home, sleeping 9.7 hours. We have a sheep, which sleeps 3.8 hours, and my guess is there that sheep have trouble getting to sleep because it's difficult to count people jumping over the fence. Okay. African elephant, huge body, lots of blood pressure, lots of hydrostatics going on, sleeping 3.3 hours. And there was one extra one here that was cut off of my slide. My apologies, my bad, which is the giraffe. And the giraffe sleeps 1.9 hours a day. And if you look at that long neck and you look at the hydrostatics that are involved in trying to pump blood up there, it's no wonder that that a giraffe would sleep that little. Okay, next one. What happens during sleep? And this to me is extraordinarily fascinating. Um, Here we go. Here's what happens in the brain. The cortex activity drops, but the brain is still highly active. The initial labile memories are converted in a continual process. And that's what I was talking about, where a lot of extraneous observations that you've made or stimulus that you've had during the day gets put to the backside. And when I say backside, I don't mean that. I mean gets put to the back of your head or the back of your consciousness. And it's a continual process. And it defines the information accessible during waking hours. So what information is going to be important to me? I've studied for my calculus exam, and I need to remember certain theorems. Well, those theorems get reinforced because I know I need to retain those and I need to put those to the forefront of my brain. 40% of the usual brain blood flow is diverted to muscles because most of the brain's not active. Eyes. Although the brain turns off the spinal cord neurons, eyes remain active. It allows dream engagement via eye movement. And this we know, REM, rapid eye movement. So the eyes are still engaged and you're actually active in the dream. And what's nice is we become engaged in the dream because we're still moving about the dream with our eyes. Now, obviously, um, I had a dream last night that I was on an airplane with President Biden, and we were sharing some food. Well, I didn't want to reach across while I was asleep and hand him something or take something from him because that motion of my arm and my hand would have woken me up. But I could certainly move my eyes to be active in the dream without waking up. Hormones, adrenaline, corticosteroid levels drop, HCG, melatonin, testosterone, and FSH levels rise. There's lots of activity going on. There's lots of things going on in your body while you're asleep. Here's some more. Immune system. This is the time when you're sleeping. This is the time when you can combat invaders, that your immune system is the most active. When you can fight that common cold, you can fight the infections that you might have. You can heal the knee that you just whacked. That's going on. The vast majority of that is going on while you're sleeping. Body temperature. Your body temp lowers to increase the likelihood of deep sleep. You want to be nice and cool. You want to be thermal regulated. You want to have the right body temperature maintained in order to get deep sleep. Skin, what's referred to as beauty sleep, replaces shed skin cells, rebuilds and repairs damage from UV. Muscles, your muscles are relaxed. Even though we change position about 35 times a night, it gives the tissues a chance to repair and to restore. And again, let's underscore restore and regenerate. Blood, heart rate and BP decline during sleep. Blood flows away from the brain, but guess where it flows? It flows to the liver and other organs to detoxify. This is when the detoxification occurs. It occurs during deep sleep. All right, next one. Sleep problems continue. And, I included this slide because it's necessary for us to understand what's going on and how the anxieties of the day. I think meditation and yoga are extremely valuable in trying to tamp down the anxieties that we might have. 27% of Americans are still losing sleep. And I'll point out at the bottom, this is a RAND Corporation report from June of 2016. So it doesn't include, excuse me, it doesn't include the pandemic. 27% of Americans losing sleep over the years, economic uncertainties. I'm sure that number is much higher. 30% say they experience mood difficulties that impact their sleep. I'm sure that's higher. These poor sleepers are twice as likely to follow other unhealthy habits to help them get through the day. Overloading on caffeine, drinking too much coffee, eating junk food. And the US economy loses almost $500 billion a year due to a lack of sleep. There is an answer. And Nikken is offering a new product in its sleep line to enable you to get quality sleep wherever you are. It is introducing the Kinko Nature Rest Fit. And I have to tell you that when I was involved with Nikken before and had a hand in developing some of the products that they produced, there's certain criteria that Nikken follows in order to come up with a new product or in order to get ready to introduce a new product. One, it has to be Nikken consistent. The product itself has to fit into the Nikken philosophy and where Nikken wants to go. Two, it has to be proprietary. If somebody else has exactly the same product, we don't want it. We want uniqueness. We want proprietary products that we can call our own. Quality. Quality has to be there. It's extraordinarily important. And then last but not least, you can have the greatest product under the sun. But if it's too expensive, then it really doesn't work. So affordability is number 4. Okay, let's go. There is a mattress. This case, this is did I skip one here? Nope. Okay, the Nature Rest, introducing the Kinko Nature Rest Fit. It's a product, and I wanted to share with you very briefly the interaction that I had with the Nikan product development staff when I was trying to educate myself on the Nature Rest Fit mattress cover. I asked Nikan, I said, what's Nikan's motivation in creating the Nature Rest Fit? And the answer was the Nature Rest Fit was a project that took several years to develop. We wanted to offer the ideal or best sleep system in the world, one that is affordable, has magnetic technology, and can be easily portable. With that in mind, we created the Kinko Nature Rest Fit. It is a product that fits perfectly over the mattress of your choice. It is inexpensive, it's easy to store, easy to transport, to ship, and easy to use as a demo. You can take it with you when you're meeting people, and you can demo it very, very easily. It's manufactured with rubber thane technology, features the following benefits: fabric that provides inhalation, massaging effects, promotes relaxation, helps regulate body temperature. Any mattress can transform into a Kinko sleep system with the Nature Rest Fit placed over it. And I said, okay, what's the what's the what's the market niche? And they said, for the product, they said this product is for everybody who sleeps on a mattress. And the caution there is the only people who need to beware are those that have a pacemaker. And that's because of the magnetics. And we always and have consistently told people with pacemakers that they need to be careful with the magnetics, because most pacemakers today are demand sensing kind, where they have a magnetic switch that can put them into continuous mode or into demand sensing. Okay, let me go through some of the characteristics here. Um, Made to fit your mattress, thin, lightweight, and flexible. They're a four-sided elasticized skirt which fits over your mattress, stays in place. It's portable with a carrying case. Technology. Magnetic technology, 800 Gauss button magnets are integrated in between the massaging nodules. So you've got rubber thane nodules tipped with latex with a 800 Gauss button magnet nestled in between. It also has reflective fibers to help regulate body temperature, which is one of the things that we emphasized was critical here. And these are passive fibers that help to reflect back your body's natural warmth that you give off and that you radiate while you're sleeping and while you're on top of the mattress. Breathable fibers support ventilation, absolutely very important. Yes, it's nice to reflect back, but you also want to make sure you don't overdo it and that you don't overheat. So it's nice to have breathable fibers to support ventilation in order for you to keep your body temperature where it's ideal. Materials. I mentioned it before, rubber thane with latex nodules. It gives you this, they give you this beautiful massaging effect. And I can tell you, um, Sarah and I still have one of the original mattress pads on our bed that was introduced way back with the rubber thane and latex nodules, and that massaging effect that we get. It's fantastic. Durable foam with added latex, rubber cloth backing, which is important because you want it to not be sliding off the bed, sliding from one side to the other. You want it to stay put, and it prevents slippage. Here are materials and technologies. Okay. Um, I hope you can see this, but this is a schematic cross section of the Nature Rest Fit, and what it shows is a couple things. Of course, you can see the black guys there; those are the magnets. You can see the outer fabric on the outside, which is 100% natural cotton. So is the fabric on the bottom. You can see the nodules there of latex, the green latex tips at the top. And in between, you can see um, the golden buttons, which are tourmaline. And for those of you who are familiar with tourmaline, you know that it is a precious gem. It's in a lot of jewelry. It's in a lot of necklaces. It's in a lot of pendants. It was originally thought to be worn by the Egyptians, who wore it as pendants around their neck. And the tourmaline itself is considered to be a piezo and pyroelectric. Piezo means to squeeze, and pyro means to heat. So when tourmaline is exposed to pressure or exposed to motion, it gives off electrons. And when it's heated, it gives off electrons. So the tourmaline is there in order to provide um, some negative ions. And again, we're not talking about specific medical benefits to the negative ions, but it's interesting to note that we have magnetic technology, we have reflective fiber technology, and we have the tourmaline. Okay. Active wellness. It provides massaging effect, obviously from the rubber thane tipped nodules, latex tipped nodules. Helps reduce the effects of stress and fatigue. Yeah, get a good night's sleep. You won't get a better night's sleep than you can using the Nikan system. Promotes continuous relaxation and helps with restful sleep throughout the night. Um, where are we here? Safe and convenient, affordable and convenient for travel, meets fire safety regulations, absolutely important, and Nikon wouldn't do it any other way. You need to make sure that the flammability is such that if it happens to get a spark or if it happens to be exposed to a flame, it will not go up. It will not make your life, will not put you in danger. Easy to clean, no need for detergent, spot clean with a damp sponge, 1 year's manufacturer's warranty. Um, for sizes, and these are sizes that are real. These are sizes that will fit your mattress, that will fit a twin or a full or a queen or a king, and get quality sleep wherever you are. The Nature Rest Fit is portable. It comes with its own carrying case, so you can take it anywhere. Um, I think that's about it for me. I want to thank you very much for your attention, and I enjoyed today very much, and I appreciate getting invited. And Ruben, Luis, I turn it back to you.
Well, Dave, I'm going to say a couple of words before it goes back to
Oh,
them.
okay, Maggie.
First of all, again, brilliant, easy to understand, very exciting for us, especially those of us who have been through all the generations of Nikan's fabulous sleep systems, to find one that's portable and easy to carry and less expensive and all of those things, plus all of the qualities of breathability and relaxation.
Well, Maggie,
So,
can you hear me? One of the things that was an integral part of this design was, unlike the old mattress pads, like the one I have on my bed now, it's not very easy to carry around. It doesn't fold up. You either have to roll it up or find some other way to do
yeah.
it. The Nature Rest Fit is made to be portable. It's made to move around. It folds up very nicely, very neatly. You put it in the carrying case, and it's just easy to do. And that's because that was one of the objectives.
That is so brilliant. Thank you, Nikan. Thank you, Science Guy.
Good to see you again, Maggie. I love your hair.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. I love your beard too. So there you
Ah,
go. We're even.
okay, thanks.
Okay. So now I'm going to turn it back to